Finally, an F-22 Raptor, the superfighter that shocked the world. The superfighter that shocked the world. It was 2005, and the world would meet its most powerful fighter, the F-22 Raptor. It was an invention so far ahead of its time that it had to put in a generation of its own. The world's first fifth-generation fighter. For almost 2 decades, the F-22 Raptor has remained the ultimate air superiority fighter, with a long line of advancements to advance for even newer fighter jets to wield. A fighter so precious that a federal law was passed 24 years ago to prevent it from being sold to any other nation on the planet, not even to allies of the United States, even though they did line up to buy. This is the story of the F-22 Raptor, the superfighter that changed the world and whose sheer existence was history in the making. There's little doubt the F-22 Raptor is the greatest air superiority fighter of its time. The problem was that the fighter's development went on for so long that its primary adversary, the Soviet Air Force, went out of business. The F-22 also collided with current events, as the economic demands of wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and the lack of a peer adversary made a $300 million fighter plane, in the view of government officials at the time, an unsustainable cost. An economic recession, nearly a depression, that began in 2008 and only ended in 2010 was clearly another reason. The program's path to deployment was a long one too. The Advanced Tactical Fighter Project, which begat the F-22 Raptor, began in 1981. The Raptor's first flight was in 1990, and the aircraft achieved initial operating capability in 2005. By comparison, the F-15 Eagle went from design selection to first flight in 7 years, from 1965 to 1972, and achieved initial operating capability in 1976. In other words, the F-22 took more than twice as long to develop than the F-15. During that time, the Soviet Union went from competing superpower to the dust heap, dissolving in 1991. The mighty Soviet Air Force was broken up among the surviving republics, and fighter development in the newly formed countries was restricted to upgrading existing designs, such as the MiG-29 and Su-30. Few in number and flown by pilots with minimal flight hours during the lean economic years of the 1990s, they presented no compelling reason to rush the F-22. The F-22 also gained an air-to-ground capability during this time, extending its usefulness. The F-22 Raptor was done in by a number of factors, but perhaps the underlying reason was the program dragged on for so long it was exposed to greater risk of being undercut by current events. The literal combat ship, which 10 years after development began is still equipped with just one 57mm cannon, is headed in the same direction. The F-22 wasn't the first wonder weapon to face an early end, and it won't be the last.